Good morning, it's Miss Kim with Miss Kim's Tarot and Tearoom.com. It is June the 14th at 2026 at 10:12 a.m. and all I'm going to do on this video is just talk about the aspects for the week of June the 15th. Let me see where else I went to June the 20th. Okay. So we're going to start with tomorrow, Monday, at June the 15th. The moon will be in Cancer at 8:14 a.m. So there could be issues having to do with mothering your children, food, things having to do with history. So we're going to move forward and we're going to look at the aspects for June the 15th, which is the moon squares Neptune. This is a time where your judgment may be a little bit more off than usual. So if you have to make any decisions, make sure that you postpone them for a little bit later on. Even if it's this day, make it later in the day. And then we have the moon quincunx Pluto, and that creates emotional upheavals that could threaten your inner security. So you might find yourself churned up at this time. And then Venus is going to sextile Uranus, which is take the initiative. Don't sit around and wait to see what happens. Get out and do what you have to do. So then I'm going to move over to June the 16th, which is Tuesday. And the moon will still be in Cancer at that time. And the first aspect is going to be the moon squaring Saturn. So it's a time of serious thinking. You're going to start to think about your life, be more disciplined at this time than usual. We have the moon conjunct Mercury. Watch this one because there's a time of temperamental actions and words. Don't be on the side of town that you shouldn't. And if you know that you're with people that are temperamental or volatile, excuse yourself from the conversation or just don't be present at all. And then we have the moon sextile Mars. That's a time of nervousness and excitement. That could be the after effects from that moon conjunct Mercury. And then we have Venus trining Neptune, which is a really wonderful time for artists, creativity, daydreaming, and redecoration. If you like to redecorate your home, that's a perfect time, Tuesday. And then we have Wednesday, which is going to be a 4. I'm going to give it a 4-star day out of 5. And the only reason I don't give it a 5 is because the moon opposition Pluto that comes later. But this is going to be a really good day, Wednesday, for our just collective aspects. The first thing is the moon is void of course at 3:41, and then it goes into Leo at 8:05 a.m. So that's when you want to start your plans. 8:05 a.m. This is Eastern time. We got a lot of aspects this day. The first one is the moon conjunct Jupiter. So it's a time of being idealistic, optimistic, and very creative and content with life at this time. And then we have the moon sextile Uranus, which is an original, inventive time, also creative. And then we have the moon trining Neptune, which can create a really romantic, idealistic, and friendly time. And then we go into moon conjunct Venus, which is ideas on beauty and decoration. It sounds like a fun day. And Leo is all about creativity anyway. And then we have this one. This is why it got 4 stars instead of 5. There's daydreams and snags in your plan. The thing that caught my attention was snags and plans. You might have plans and then you might have to revise them, or something has to be reworked or redone. And then we have Venus opposition Pluto, which is an exciting time for romance. A new romance could start at this time. And with it being in Leo, I won't predict longevity, but I will predict excitement in the relationship. And then we have On June the 18th, which is Thursday, 2026, the moon will still be in Leo, so we can have some of that fun time. But we've got a moon trining Saturn, which kind of brings it down a little bit, and you accomplish things through patience. And then the moon will square Mars, which will cause emotional thinking, like you start to ruminate. So you got to be careful with what you're doing with your brain at that time. And then on Friday, June the 19th, the moon will be in Leo, and then it goes void of course at 7:30 a.m. And then directly about 3 hours and 7 minutes later at 10:37, the moon will be in Virgo. That's going to be a time of detailed oriented things, of work, your day-to-day routines, things with small animals. Health matters are super important. So the first aspect we have is the moon sextile sun, which is gain through more work. You'll be working, but you'll be making more money because of it, or you could have an extra thing that comes along so that you make a little bit more money. Then we have moon squaring Uranus, which creates an erratic or eccentric behavior. So you might find somebody that acts out of character at this time, could be a little bit more strange than usual, or strange when they're not. And then we have moon quincunx Neptune, so you need to discriminate whether you're being apathetic or just relaxing or lazy. And then we have the moon quincunx Pluto. Okay, this one is a little bit harder to handle because it creates emotional upheavals at this time that will threaten your inner security and make you possibly triggered or feel threatened in some way. And it could cause the old patterns and tapes that you have in your mind to start replaying. So then on June the 20th, which is Saturday, the moon is still in Virgo, and it's a time with moon quincunxing Saturn. You need to examine your repressed emotions, and hopefully you'll have a day off so you can sit with it and really find what's coming up for yourself. So that's the whole week. I'm not doing Father's Day. I'll do something toward the end of the week, specifically at that time, possibly for Father's Day. So I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I'm gonna start working with the tarot video just shortly. It is super hot in the south right now and so humid. So take a look at this frizz, because you're going to be seeing this probably until September. This morning I got up and the humidity was at 77% in my apartment. So it's just, ugh. And going outside is even worse. I've got my air on 68. And if anybody knows me, they know I keep it cold so I can breathe. But because it feels like you're breathing cotton in when you go outside, it's really, really hot and just muggy. But I hope wherever you are, you're staying cool, and that you have a great rest of your weekend, what's left of it, and a great week to come. And I will talk to you later. Again, I'm Miss Kim with Miss Kim's Tarot and Tea Room, and I will talk to you later.